Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how I created this church flyer. It's for Christ Embassy, one of their branches in Glasgow in Scotland in the UK. I'm just going to show you how I created this step by step, and of course all the assets I used to design it are in the description box, so you can download it and design along with me. Okay, without talking too much, let's get right into the video. But before we get right into the video, like this video, drop a comment, subscribe, share it to other designers. All right, and let's jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. So come here, create a new file, and it's going to be a square flyer. So 1080p by 1080p is pretty okay. Alright, so click on create. Alright, so now that my file is opened up, I actually like to create a solid color adjustment layer. So come down here to the adjustments panel, click on solid color, and we're just going to make it white. Now you might be wondering what's the difference, it was already white. I don't know, I just prefer solid color. Alright, so I'm going to delete the original background. So now that we have the solid color created, I'm going to start bringing in my element. So the color of this flyer is actually going to be white, the background color. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'll create an ellipse. Right, I'll centralize it like this. Alright, let's increase the size like this. Okay, I think it's pretty okay like this. Alright, then I'm going to bring in an image of drums. Alright, image of drums. Then I'm going to right click. Okay, I don't know why the transform is taking time. Alright, so right click on that and create a clipping mask. So you can see it's clipped into this red. So I'm going to move it up a bit. Right, I think it's pretty okay like that. So I'm going to change the blending mode to okay. So first of all, let me change this eclipse to black. I'll change it to black, and I'll come to this drum image and I'll change it to I think soft lights. Okay, soft light is not okay. Let's try screen. Okay, I'll change it to screen, reduce the opacity to like 46 or 45. I think that's pretty okay. Alright, so I'm going to select all three layers. So click on one layer, hold shift and click on the other layer, press Ctrl G to make it a group, and I'm just going to rename it BG for background. Right, so these are background. Next thing I'll bring in is this tambourine. Right, so I'm going to hold Alt and left click and drag to reduce the size of the tambourine. I'll shift it down a bit. Right, okay, I think this size is okay. I'm going to come down here and create a mask. We'll zoom in. I want to erase this tambourine icon illustration. Alright, so select your marquee tool, M, and just select this. Alright, and just delete. Press your delete key. Press Ctrl D to deselect and zoom out. Alright, so we have our tambourine. So I think I want to make some edits to this tambourine. So just let's go to filter and go to camera raw filter, just to spice up the image a little bit, not too much. Alright, so okay, so let's cancel. I actually made a mistake. I selected the mask instead of the tambourine itself. So let's select the tambourine, go to filter, go to camera raw filter. Okay, so just play around with the sliders until you get something that looks nice to you. Alright, that's what I basically do myself. That's what I do. Yeah, so you can just copy my settings if you want the same results that I'm going to get. You can pause and play to make sure that you're getting the same thing. Alright, so you can see it's basically brighter. If we turn this off, you can see the before and the after. Alright, so now we have our tambourine. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some images. Alright, so there are about 4 images. Just going to drag and drop. Okay, so I'm going to hide some of them. I'm going to start with this one is Pastor Chris. Alright, so I'm going to double click on it. It's going to bring up my layer style. I'm going to click on stroke. I'll make sure that my position is inside, and yeah, and the color is white. So I'm going to play around with the size of the stroke. I'll click on OK. I'll double click again as well. I'm going to add the drop shadow. I think that's okay. You can just copy my settings to get the same thing I'm getting. Then I'll press Ctrl T to transform, and I'm going to reduce the size a bit. I'll tilt it a little bit. Alright, and I'll place it here. Now that stroke looks too big, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to reduce the stroke. I'm going to reduce the stroke, I think 13. Okay, let me try 15. Okay, I'm going to leave it at 15. So the reason I added a stroke is to create this sort of frame, this frame vibe, you know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but now I'm going to unhide this image. I'm going to press Ctrl T. I'm going to shrink it down, going to tilt it like this, bring it here. I'm going to place it on top of this slightly, then come to this your layer panel, this FX, hold your alt and drag it up to just copy it, so you can see that the effect has been copied, the stroke and the drop shadow. Alright, then unhide this one, take it on top, press Ctrl T, shrink it down. Alright, shrink it down, and then do the same thing, copy the effect. Alright, press Ctrl T. Sorry, make sure that the right layer is selected before you press Ctrl T. Alright, then just play around with the positioning, press enter, and then the last but not the least, press Ctrl T, scale it down, and I'm going to place it here. Okay, I'll place it on top, and then of course paste the effects. Alright, so you can see what we have. Okay, you can see what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top, and I will bring in the logo. I'll just scale it down, take it up, scale it down more, I'll move it up, and then I'm going to select my text tool, and I'm going to write Love World Glasgow Central. I'll change the color to white so it's going to show, and my font is Baskerville Cyrillic LTSDD. Okay, that's the font I'm using. You can use any font you want, but that's the font I'm using. So I'm going to shrink the size, right? I'm going to shrink the size. Alright, so that's the logo and the name. I'm just going to select both, press Ctrl G, and I'll call it logo. Alright, so if you hide that logo group, you can see what is happening. Then these images, I'll select the 4 of them, also make it a group. I'll call it images. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is I'm going to write the headline. So come here and you write all praise service. Alright, so all praise service, and now that I've written the okay, so sorry for the breaking transmission. I'm going to change the font to Rumble Brave Regular. Yeah, Rumble Brave Regular. And I'll change the color to this. You can see the hex code here. I'll click on OK. I'm going to reduce the line spacing. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in so I can see. So let me increase line spacing a little bit. Okay. I'll press enter. Alright, so you can see what I have here. Now I'm not going to leave my text like that. I'm going to double click on it to bring down my blending options or layer style. I'll click on bevel and emboss. Okay, so it's going to be an inner bevel and the technique is going to be smooth. Leave depth at 1000%. Size and soften 24 and 3. Alright, so maybe I'm going to play with this a little bit. Okay, so I'm leaving my size at 16. I'm leaving soften at 3. My angle is at 90 and 30. Highlight mode screen, just copy my settings to get the same thing that I'm getting here. Then I'll go to drop shadow. I'm going to add a drop shadow. I will increase opacity, reduce the size, reduce the spread. So I'll change the angle to 135. Right, I'll reduce the distance, increase the spread, increase the size as well. So I'll reduce the spread, then I'll reduce the opacity, and I'll click on OK. Okay, then I'll actually select my text to this service. I'm going to change the color to black. Alright, it's going to be black. So you can see what we have. Now I'm going to create a mask right on the text, and I'm going to zoom in, and what I'm going to remove, I'll select my brush tool while the mask is selected. I'll right click and increase my hardness to 100, and then I'll make sure that I reduce my size properly. Then I'll make sure that my foreground color is set to black, and I'm going to remove this eye, right, just the eye. Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm doing that. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to replace that eye with a saxophone. So I'll zoom out, I'll reduce the size of the saxophone, I'll reduce the size. So let me actually, okay, let me just continue. I'll reduce the size, I'll place it where the eye is supposed to be, so you can see what I'm getting, because it's a praise service, and what is praise without instruments? So you understand the concept that I was trying to achieve here, right? So you can see what we have, all praise service. So that is our headline. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this red ribbon. Okay, as usual, I'll reduce the size. Sorry, I'm going to bring it in again. I'll bring it in, reduce the size, zoom in, and then I'm going to select my text tool, and I'm going to write the date and time. So it's going to be 11th May 2025, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. Right, so I'll change the font back to basic view, say acrylic. Right, I'll press Ctrl T to reduce the size, and I'll change the color to white to enhance the contrasts. Yeah, because contrast was poor. Alright, so now that we have this, I'm going to zoom out. So I'll select both of them, press Ctrl T. Now I can rotate it however I want. So I'm going to just place it right here. Alright, so that's it. And now I'm going to write the location. So it's SUITE. I should have copied this earlier. I did not. 409 Pentagon Center. Okay, let me quickly change the color to black so you can see what I'm writing. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, 36 Washington Street. Glasgow. G3 8 AZ. Alright, so this is the address of the church because it's a church flyer. So I'm going to bring in my location icon to show that okay, it's actually a location. I'll place it here. I'll come down here to FX and I'll click on color overlay, and I'll select this I'll select this red, this dark red. Okay, and I'm going to shift the location icon close. Alright, now that that's in place, I'm just going to bring in two more things. So first of all, let me arrange my layer. So this location, I'm going to call it location, and I'll call this date and time. Let's call it D and T. And this saxophone, I'll call this headline. Alright, so I'm going to bring in two images. I'll start with the saxophone. I've already brought in the saxophone prior. I'll bring in another one. Just rotate it a bit. I'll put it by this edge. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And I'll bring in some drums. Okay, so for the drums, I'm going to create a mask. Or rather, okay, I'll create a mask, select my brush tool, increase the size, and I'm just going to erase the brush, the drum, sorry, the red one, the ones I don't want. When all that is left is what I want, right? I'm going to increase the size and rotate it the way I want. Alright, so the final thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add some highlights. So I'll create a new layer, select my brush tool, I'll come and change the color to gold, or select the gold from each trumpet. Make sure your hardness is 0, and then just change your blending mode to screen, and then come here. Okay, can just so once your blending mode is on screen, select that your layer, and you can just do something like this. Okay, and do something like this to just add a little bit of glow. Okay, I'll come here. I'll reduce my size of my brush. I'll just a little bit here, just a little bit here. Yeah, I think that's okay. If you don't even want to add it, I don't think I'm going to add it. I'm just going to delete it. Alright, so we'll come to the top, press Ctrl Shift or W, and sorry, not Ctrl Shift or W, Ctrl Shift Alt E is to create a snapshot of all the layers. Right click and convert it to a smart object. Come up here to filter, select camera raw filter, and then you can just make your edits. Alright, you can just edit it. Like I said, there's no formula, just do what looks nice, and as usual you can copy my settings if you want the same results that I'm getting. You can pause and play if I'm too fast. Increase sharpening a bit, and I'll say okay. Alright, and with that we've come to the end of this tutorial. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you watched up to this point, kindly smash that like button, drop a comment, or tell me what video you'd like me to make next. Share this video to a designer friend that you think will benefit from it, and of course subscribe to this YouTube channel. Alright, thank you for watching and have a lovely day.